All right, today we're going to go over push-ups. Push-ups are one of the best exercises that you can ever do if done correctly, but a lot of people don't know how to do a proper push-up, and because of that they're putting themselves at risk for injury, or at best doing a push-up and not getting the maximum benefit that they could out of it. So I want to just correct some of the common faults that I see a lot of people do in push-ups, so that when you're doing it you can be sure that you're going to do it safely and effectively. So Shannon is going to get into push-up position, and first I just want you to do some really bad push-ups for me. Alright, so this is what I don't want to see. The two main things here are the elbows out to the side by the shoulders and come down, and all the way, and these hips are all the way down by the floor. Alright, rest for a second. So that's the first two things. Two biggest culprits that I see when people mess up their push-ups is this, right? That the elbows are up here in this kind of T position. So if you look, Shannon, kind of face your back towards the camera, right? With her elbows up here, you see Shannon looks like a T, right? Here and here. What I want is Shannon's elbows to come down and her to look like an arrow. So when she's at the bottom of a push-up, you see her head is the top of the arrow and her elbows are here. That's a proper push-up position, with your elbows are tucked a little bit more towards the ribs. They're not all the way down, so they're not all the way by the ribs here, where they're actually touching her ribs, but they're if this is 90 degrees, this is 0 degrees, Shannon wants to be right at that 45-degree place to make a nice arrowhead. So get back into the proper position. All right, and do a nice one with the proper elbow positioning. So now, perfect, right? Shannon has that arrowhead position at the bottom. Go ahead, one more time. All right, and so that's going to be much better. Good, rest for a second. The next thing, and this is a little bit more advanced, but this is a really key component in push-ups, is core bracing, right? When I think of a push-up, I'm really thinking of a moving plank, meaning everything that we talked about, all of the cues that go into doing a perfect, proper plank come into play when we're doing a push-up. Shannon's body position is going to look just like a plank. She's just starting in a tall plank position, then lowering herself down. But while doing that, the core should stay as hard and solid as a real plank. So come into that tall plank position, right? So I want Shannon to push up into my hand and brace her core so that her abs are on right here, and can keep that core brace as she goes all the way down and all the way up, right? You see there's no movement here because her core is on. So I want you to dump out a little bit and then sink down. So this is wrong. You see her arms are still doing the same amount of work. Rest for a second. But instead of her core being braced, her back was sinking down towards the floor. So it tricks people into thinking that they're doing a push-up properly because they feel it in their arms, which is fine. You're still getting some upper body work out of it, but you're not bracing your core, so your abs are not getting anything out of it. So your push-ups can actually be an ab exercise. And you're also putting your spine and your low back in a disadvantageous position. So if you're doing push-ups and you're feeling it in your low back, you have to think why that is. You shouldn't be feeling it there, right? So you want to be feeling it in your chest, your shoulders, your triceps, yeah, but also in your abs, right? A push-up is a core exercise because any plank variation, when we're moving, just makes that plank harder. So we're doing a plank already, now you're adding movement into it, you're taxing your core, and you're working your chest, you're working your triceps. That's why a push-up is so key. So if you're not doing that, if you're not bracing your core, you're just missing out on so much of the value of what a good push-up should do for you, right? If I do 20 push-ups with my core braced versus you doing 20 push-ups without your core braced, we did the same 20 push-ups, but I just worked my abs and my core where you didn't. So I'm going to get more value, more bang for my buck out of it. So just go again, Shannon. So just show that open scissor position. So we don't want to be here where we're open scissors. Ribs are away from pelvis, back is arched. We want to come up, close canister, abs are on, and now we're going to hold that, and that is a perfect push-up.